Thanks so much for inviting me over. I love playing Clue.
Me too.
I wish we had a real-life mystery to solve, though. That would be really fun.
Yeah, that's true. Sadie, what do you have on your back?
Your dog is so cute.
It says Beware of the Dog, and it was written in 1946.
By Roald Dahl. It's a short story. You know what? 1946 was right after the end of World War II. We were just learning about in history class how a piece written during wartime or post-war time can be either a reaction or a reflection to what was going on.
Let's see if Sadie left us clues around the house and see if we can figure out if it's a reflection or a reaction.
Yeah, let's investigate. Do you hear that? What is that noise?
Oh my gosh, in history we just learned about how during wartime many pilots were able to distinguish between plane types just by hearing the engine. In the story, the Junkers 88 German fighter plane is recognized by the speaker and is described by using opposing imagery. Here's a quote.
There is a deep vibrating bass voice, and with it there's a high-pitched tenor. I remember that when we read it. The sharp contrast here between the deep vibrating bass voice and the high-pitched tenor used to describe the sound of the plane emphasizes the speaker's traumatized post-battle mental state. Therefore, through the use of the opposing imagery, the author reveals the reality of post-traumatic stress disorder and thus reflects World War II soldiers' real post-war state.
Here's another quote. The sight of this fly, the suddenness of seeing this small black speck on a sea of gray, brushed the surface of his brain, and quickly, in that second, he remembered everything. The fly was still there, only a black speck upon a sea of gray. The fly buzzing on the ceiling represents a fighter plane alone in the sky.
Of course.
This symbolism and onomatopoeia of the fly buzzing sparks the war memories of the speaker, which reflects once again the reality of PTSD soldiers experienced during post-World War II.
Wait, but this image, this also ties to it. It's a ship floating in a vast sea. The metaphorical comparison in the quote of the ceiling of the hospital room as the sea of gray and the sea being vast and unknown to many emphasizes the isolation soldiers feel after returning from war. No one understands the horrors but them.
Oh, I think Sadie left us some more clues.
This is so much fun. Oh my goodness. Here we go. The nurse had taken the roses out the night before. It was no longer warm or friendly. It was not even comfortable. It was cold and empty and very quiet. This is when the nurse is taking the roses out of his hospital bedroom. Here's a rose. I bet that ties in.
Yeah, the roses serve as a symbol for the comfort the speaker misses at home, seeing as once the nurse removes them from the room, his fear and skepticism grows surrounding his location. The diction of the words cold and empty he uses to describe the room without the roses reveals his unease.
For sure. Oh wait, here's another quote too. The pain was still great under the bandages, but he did not wish to tell this woman anything. The woman is the nurse. He didn't want to risk disclosing any dangerous information to the opposing side. This sense of uneasiness is further revealed in the speaker's hesitation to tell the nurse anything, and in his decision to persevere through pain in order to avoid disclosing dangerous information.
Yeah, using the context clues such as Dahl's references to the RAF, the British Royal Air Force, and the writing on the sign being in French, it would make sense that he feels nervous because for a period of time, Hitler had control of France before the Allies defeated the Nazis. In addition, capture was a very real threat during World War II for all real soldiers, so this sense of skepticism reflects the concerns of all who were injured and relocated. In fact, a total of 20,000 soldiers of the British Armed Forces were captured during the fighting. Not only was there mental scarring from the atrocities of World War II, but many soldiers, like the speaker, came back brutally injured. The soldier lost his leg. In fact, in the RAF Bomber Command, 57,205 soldiers were killed out of the 125,000 aircrew. Many nurses and hospitals were thus required to help bathe the wounded.
Oh my gosh, here's some more clues. Another quote. This was the first time he had had a bed bath and he was embarrassed. The speaker's feeling of embarrassment here parallels the isolation soldiers feel post-war and suggests that no others can understand the horrors they faced and the things they were required to do. Roald Dahl's inclusion of the bed bathing and the speaker's injured state both serve as accurate reflections of post-war life for a wounded soldier. The clues don't lie. It's all in the evidence.
Beware of the Dog is a reflection of World War II.